My name is Stenberg. I was the first employee of QlikTech in 1993, and that's where the story begins. We started out in Lund in a science park called Ideon. My brother Björn Berg founded the company and had the basic idea for the product.
Björn Berg's idea was really to be able to show logical inference between different pieces of information.
Visualizing information in this green, white and grey scheme.
Was the inspiration for QlikView, or as we called it then, QuickView.
The revolutionary thing about QlikView is the simplicity of the concept. You have values that either are compatible or incompatible, and we show them all. So you get a lot of information in a very simple way.
The people using QlikView today, they would indeed recognize also the very first versions because the idea of list boxes and green, white, grey is identical to what we had in the very first version.
The people within the company had the strength that they really followed their own path, and they were very proud about it.
The idea of developing something we believe in rather than something that's already expected by the customers.
Well, during the first, let's say, 6 years, we developed QlikView and sold QlikView, but well, we were a lot better at developing QlikView than we were at selling QlikView.
People in the company were very focused on the great product, because it was a great product fairly early on, and had this notion that it's a great product, it will sell itself, which of course it didn't.
There was no business side. I mean, it was basically a tech startup building a cool product and hoping that someone would call and buy it.
So they were shaky days, or you could say that, for QlikTech. Before Måns Haltman joined the company, the QlikView was seen as a utility that could do anything. If you just found a problem and you used QlikView as a tool.
When Måns took over as CEO, he wanted to change many things within the company, notably the sales structure, and build up a proper sales organization and with a good sales strategy.
I think he brought three things. He brought focus, focus and focus.
The first thing Måns did was to get Lars on board, Lars Björk, and that's where it sort of took off.
What we found was a very healthy technology in a science park and hardly any business side. We had a handful of customers, or two handful, we had one sales rep, and it was very southern Sweden centric.
We were totally a Swedish company. We had small subsidiaries in the United States and in Germany, but the first 6 years we had almost all our customers in Sweden.
Quite early on, I think it was in '97, we got investment from Industrifonden, which is, founded by the Swedish government.
When it came to paying back that loan, we didn't have any money, so we suggested, why don't you turn that loan into equity, and which they did, and don't regret. They sold their stock last year, and I think they made a 50 times return on the money.
Then we started very, very thoroughly in 2000 to build a market.
The majority of the tool meant that Måns could ignore the product to a large extent and just focus on sales and building a company.
He saw the need for BI tools, and he knew that there were BI tools out there that were not at all as good as what QlikView could become.
It turned out that we were a perfect fit for that industry.
Suddenly we were not sitting there waiting anymore for people to call and buy QlikView, but we were defining a market and selling to that market.
We had big competition out there. We had to build something unique, something different. We need to build trust around the product itself and our customers.
In 2003, we felt this is too good of a technology to keep on a very limited market.
A colleague of mine went to Lund, Sweden, heard about this company that was fundraising, and it sounded like a pretty good value proposition, but when we met the people there, Lars and Mans at the time, it was just, we were blown away.
Alex was part of a syndicate of investors with Alex, Jerusalem Venture Partners, and Excel.
JBC and Excel invested a lot of money in the company, which made it possible for us to grow.
So he was that sort of bridge between the European management and European style, but American software companies.
His past experiences of running and building software companies was very valuable. He helped us get to find people that could join us for suitable roles, like Anthony Dayton or Les Bonney.
Well, so I suppose at first it was just a lack of resource and a lot of enthusiasm, great product, and really we had to feed ourselves, make the money while we didn't have really a great deal of resource.
We did everything. You were a salesperson, an ops person, a marketing person, go to get coffee person, you did everything.
When we first invested, the main mission was to globalize the company.
We wanted to create one face to the market, not a US face, a German face, and a Swedish face, but one face to the market. And so a lot of the early work was on how do we bring this company together as one QlikTech, create a common view to the marketplace, and then expand.
Suddenly, everything wasn't focused on Sweden, it became a focus on multi-geographies.
There was a very well-functioning R&D group and a good process for getting requirements from the field into the product, but there wasn't necessarily that connection out to the market itself.
The partner channel was an important aspect of us doing the deal, because in order to scale in a volume and velocity business catering to the mid-market and then eventually to the upper segment of the market, it was just vitally important that we were not dependent only on our own people on direct sales, but also had an effective indirect channel.
It was about taking the organization, step by step to the next level, ensuring we had distribution in more than 100 different countries, recruiting more and more talent in different parts of the organization, not just in sales, but in marketing and finance and legal and corporate development. So we just had to grow muscles in all these different dimensions.
So what were the circumstances that led us to move our headquarters from Sweden to the United States? It was around 2006, and we decided that the biggest market opportunity for us is in the US. We are likely going to take this company public sometime, and the public market is going to be in the US. So it was a natural move for us.
We could have placed our headquarters anywhere in the world. We were very much a global organization, and the headquarters doesn't really matter whether it's in Paris or London, New York or Stockholm. It wouldn't have changed the way we run the company or the culture of the company.
What was most important was to build a competitive team in the US. So in the first couple of years we spent a particular amount of effort making sure that we could compete for the heart of the market, especially the mid-market, because QlikTech was really focused intensively on the mid-market companies at that time.
With QlikTech moving its headquarters to Radnor, that was a big change, of course. But I see it as this was the Swedish company turning international.
It didn't mean that we left our heritage by any means. We just moved center of gravity for some of our corporate functions in the US and started building out the business more rapidly in that market.
We still have our R&D in Sweden, so we kept that Swedish piece of it, that Swedish soul, which was really important.
We didn't lose our soul, we just, entered a new stage.
We waited for a number of years, as you know. We funded the company in 2004. We finally went public in July 2010, which we felt was the right timing. We didn't rush into it. The company was at a critical mass at the time, and the conditions were right. So this is when we decided to finally file for the IPO.
Here we go. There's a few things that are really significant about being a public company and becoming one. One is clearly recognition.
It's also an important branding event. If you're going to compete as one of the global thought leaders in a tech space, going public is a way to achieve real prominence.
We'd gone from being a venture capital based startup organization to one with a market cap of $1.5 billion. So immediately we were a very solid offering in terms of substance.
What a day! In an ocean of red, we're the only one at screen today, sticking out.
You get a lot of research coverage about the business, there's more people talking about you.
When we moved into the top right quadrant, it was a big step forward for us. We saw our presence and visibility in the marketplace increasing. That opened up a lot of doors. We got the attention of the partners, the systems integrators, and our customers were very excited that we were generating that sort of investment in the business.
The IPO was the catalyst. It was the thing which made that shift possible and focused everyone's attention on what we'd done and what we could do in the future.
QlikView is a transformational product. We just scratched the surface of our potential. The best is yet to come.
The future is going to be very bright, the future is very big, but there's a lot of responsibility with it, so we have to behave professionally, we have to be the best in the world at what we do, but we're certainly not going to lose the fun, we're not going to lose a great place to work, and hopefully never lose the values on which this company is based.
I think we have a milestone coming up, the QlikView Next or QlikView 12.
QlikView 12 will give us that disruptive capability by leapfrogging another level to where we need to take ourselves as an organization.
We're going to make it possible to simplify analysis for everyone.
Because this is not just a sort of incremental evolution of the QlikView brand and the QlikView product. This is a massive step which will actually leave our competitors very, very concerned and very worried.
The customer will perceive us to be cutting edge in our space, and they will feel very comfortable investing in that platform to take them into the future.